Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to step back. This is a private event, for family only. The voice was sharp, almost cutting through the hum of the crowded auditorium. A woman in a black suit stood tall, a headset clinging to her cheek and a clipboard gripped tightly in her hands. She wasn't asking. She was giving an order. The elderly man in front of her didn't flinch. Though age had bent his back, something about him stood firm, like a tree that had weathered too many storms. One hand leaned on a cane. The other slipped a folded paper quietly into his coat pocket. "I am family," he said. His voice wasn't loud, but it was certain. "You're not on the approved list," she replied, without a trace of sympathy. "You'll need to leave this area. It's for immediate family members only." Around them, the atmosphere shifted. Conversations faded. Phones were lowered. All eyes turned to the frail old man in the worn military jacket standing near the stage. Some people whispered, "Who is he?" Others assumed he was lost or confused. No one moved. No one spoke up. But Harold Bennett hadn't come for attention. He came for his son. The same son who served 3 tours overseas. The same son who studied through night shifts and dusty internet connections from tents in distant lands. The same son who wrote weeks ago in a handwritten letter, "Dad, if you're strong enough to travel, I need you there. I don't care about the ceremony. I just want to see your face." And so, Harold came. 83 years old. 2 buses. 1 long layover. A walk that should have been impossible with knees like his. He even sold his old pickup, more rust than metal, just to afford the ticket. But none of that mattered now. The woman only saw a name missing from a list. "Sir," she said, louder now, "if you don't move, we'll have security escort you out." Harold paused, then nodded slowly, and turned to leave. The cane tapped softly on the polished floor. No one said a word. Heads turned away. Until a chair scraped loudly against the floor. Then another. And another. 6 men stood up. Sharp uniforms. Straight backs. Eyes that had seen war and survived it. They didn't look at the woman. They looked at Harold. "Where do you think you're going, Sergeant?" one of them asked. Harold blinked. "I was told I had to leave." The man stepped forward, standing firm. "Not today, sir. Not while we're still breathing." Another man joined him. "This man's son saved my life in Afghanistan," he said. "If this father doesn't belong here, then none of us do." The room shifted again. The silence grew heavy with realization. People no longer saw an old man. They saw a veteran. A father. A man who bled for the flag stitched on his jacket. And raised a son who followed in his footsteps. Someone in the back whispered his name like it was sacred. "That's Master Sergeant Harold Bennett. 3 Purple Hearts. A Silver Star. Vietnam." The woman in black hesitated. Her mouth opened, then closed again. Her clipboard lowered. Her tone softened. One of the soldiers stepped forward. "Ma'am," he said calmly, "you can ask him to leave. But you'll have to remove all of us too." Stillness. Then a single clap. Slow. Hesitant. Then another. And another. Applause swept through the hall like a wave. Not just for the man, but for the story he carried in his silence. Harold's lip trembled. He wasn't used to this. When he came home from his war, no one clapped. There were no parades. Just silence, and sometimes worse. But today was different. A voice called out from the stage. "Dad." Jake Bennett. In cap and gown. Eyes shining with pride. He stepped down from the stage and walked straight toward his father. No hesitation. No shame. He hugged him tightly. "You made it," Jake whispered. "I told them I wouldn't walk that stage unless you were here. You earned this moment more than I did." Tears fell. Harold's, Jake's, and many others. The applause grew louder. Phones rose, not to judge, but to honor. The woman with the headset stepped back, her arms folded in quiet respect now. Because sometimes, the most honorable men don't need to demand respect. They carry it in every step. In every son they raise. In every silent sacrifice they make, without ever needing a thank you. Harold Bennett didn't need a degree. He just needed to be seen. And today, finally, he was. Backhand index pointing right. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Orange heart, like, subscribe, and share this moment with someone who needs it. Writing hand, drop a salute in the comments to honor heroes like Harold.